Chit Chat time with John K. Hey, I started in cartoons, if you can believe it, back in the 1980s, which was kind of the dark ages of cartoons. That's when cartoons were really crummy. I don't know, I'm not sure if I can say these things, but Smurfs, Strawberry Shortcake, Laverne and Shirley in the Army. I worked on all this crap, and it was awful, let me tell you. And everyone I knew, all the cartoonists, we were young back then in our 20s, we all hated it. We all wanted to kill ourselves. And kids, you know, if you're watching this, don't kill yourself. Unless you work on some crummy cartoons. So anyways, they were really boring, and the cartoonists really didn't have any creativity. We didn't have any say in what we were doing. We just had to draw these evil scripts that retarded scriptwriters would write for us. And literally, they were retarded. I mean, they couldn't spell, they couldn't construct a sentence. It was embarrassing. We had one guy, Tom Minton, used to take the scripts. We were working at Filmation. He'd light them on fire and throw them into our into our office. We'd have to get up and stomp the thing out. Man, generally, even today, to this day, even after Ren and Stimpy and all the things we changed, cartoonists hate scripts. Believe me, and most of them can't get through a script in one sitting. What usually happens is you either fall asleep or you get really mad and you light it on fire or something. So, and I knew some writers too back in the 80s, and they had all these weird theories. One of their theories was that there were only 7 stories. They're honest. They really said that, and I heard a lot of them say that. And if you watch 80s cartoons, you will see those same 7 stories over and over again. In every cartoon, all they would do is change which characters are in what situation. So they would have the evil twin story, or they have like let's share everything story. I don't know, I can't remember them. But there weren't very many of them, and it was the same script over and over and over again. We just went crazy. So I swore if I ever got to make my own cartoons, I would find some new stories. And I was influenced by a lot of different things, by old cartoons, Bugs Bunny, Betty Boop, Popeye, all the really cool cartoons. But not only cartoons, but old movies and even real life. Like, you know, when I heard this there are only 7 plots theory, I thought about, gee, you know, more than 7 things have happened in my life, and I'm only 25 or something. So I decided I would, you know, write some stories about things that really happened in my life, things that were ideas from old books I read or old movies. And in the process, we introduced all kinds of new story types in the original Ren and Stimpy's. One of which was the psychodrama. And I didn't coin this phrase. It was coined, as far as I know, by Mike Lazo of the Cartoon Network. And when I did a Yogi Bear cartoon for him called Boo Boo Runs Wild, which he said, "Oh, John, it's one of your psychodramas." And I agreed with him. I said, that's a pretty good term for it. And some of the Ren and Stimpy psychodramas, of course, revolve around Ren. Stimpy's invention is a psychodrama, so is Space Madness, and there are interludes of psychodrama in almost all of the cartoons. So some of you out there wrote me letters saying, hey, give me more of that insane stuff with Ren. You know, give me a whole cartoon just about why he's insane. So I thought that's a good idea. Maybe I'll write one about his childhood. I'll have a cartoon where maybe it opens with he just did something hideous to Stimpy. So hideous that we can't even show it, that I won't even show it in a cartoon. So it's just the aftermath. So we see Ren, like, he's all pitiful and everything, and he's in remorse, and Stimpy's screaming at him. And, you know, you got to know that if Stimpy is mad, Ren must have done something really evil, because Stimpy puts up with anything. So then, Ren feels so guilty, he decides that he needs help. So he goes downtown and he seeks help from the only person that could possibly give it to him. And I'm not going to give away the surprise, but we wrote this cartoon in 1991, and it was deemed too intense for kids back then. So if you have kids, you might want to wait, you know, till they're 36 or something before they watch this cartoon. It's Ren Seeks Help. It's a film noir cartoon. It has a very dark side to it. And, by the way, Ren does some horrible things when he's a little kid that I don't recommend that anybody does. If you are a kid and you watch this, you better not do what Ren does. This is a cartoon about a bad person. And if you do what Ren does in this cartoon, you're going to hell. But otherwise, just have fun. Just laugh at it, because it's just a cartoon. It's not really happening, but it is evil.